Aanii Christian. I'm really glad that I got your email back. I apologize for not sending you something earlier. I'm still learning this technology and how to upload it. And I have a hotspot from the library this week, so I'm trying to do all of my messaging out while I have the internet access. I also want to say Aanii bonjour to Michelle. I'm glad that Christian let you watch the video. I think it takes everybody who wants to be involved, who can be involved, to get messages, and education is always good. And what we're doing right now is building that collective network. So I just want to say chimagwech to both of you. And I'm glad that this is a good platform for you. So, Christian, I was trying to think about how best to answer some of your questions. And one of them is the definition of family. So just a little bit about my personal life. My father is a Great Lakes boat captain, which means that he's gone for literally 10 months out of the year. He has 6 children. I don't think he was I think maybe he was at 1 or 2 births. But he was out in the middle of the lake when I was born. So he wasn't really around, but that was a choice because of economics and what he had to do. So when we talk about family and fathers in particular, it was my uncles and my grandfathers who really put values into me that my father would have done. Whether that was my Uncle Louie and watching me learn how to skip a rope and crisscross the rope, but really it was also my grandfather on my mother's side, so my paternal grandfather. I really, he really took care of me and mentored me. He showed me lots of things that a dad is supposed to do, how to use tools, how to key a lock, how to build things, how to farm. That was really important. And for everyone in my family, it might have been another person that they attached to specifically. For my brother Nick, it was my paternal grandfather. So it really... I think that when we're defining family and what a father is, we really need to look at the circumstances of everyone and say they might not have, the regular definition of father. However, there are males in their life that do fatherly things, or what we consider stereotype fatherly things. And then with that, I also want to say in a lot of minority communities, specifically Black and Indian communities, you could even say Hispanic, Latino families, that the policies that are put in place with some of the things that happen in regular society, i.e. incarceration, really limit engagement. Black and Indians are disproportionately incarcerated. So maybe it's not a matter of fathers cannot be present for their choice. It's because of a system that's already put in place with the judicial system that they're not able to be there. For example, Holly and Mary came and we did a focus group for pamphlets and brochures. And I had 3 fathers. There were 6 women. 3 fathers were present. One father couldn't be present because he's in prison, and then the other one has a substance use disorder. So that's the other caveat, is sometimes there's hindrance to engagement because parents are dealing with their own trauma, and it's really hard if you're dealing with your own trauma with substance use to be there present as a father and as a good role model. So those are just some of the things to think about as we talk about families and what fatherhood really is. And then the realities of our society and how we operate, and some of the things that don't necessarily, like we can't do anything about incarceration rates disproportionately affecting minorities until we do something about how we prosecute minorities with implicit bias. So there's a larger system in place there. I do want to say that there is a program that's an evidence-based program that Natives have that is called Fatherhood is Sacred, and then there's also Motherhood is Sacred. I would love to hook you up with maybe some digital storytelling from them. There's a great program in Hannahville that started off as a pilot like 10 years ago, and it has just exploded into a beautiful program. And that came out of substance use disorder. There's also a program more locally that would be in Mount Pleasant, and then they also host programming. So Fatherhood is Sacred is a 3-day intensive program where you learn how to multi-generationally build relationships. They really believe that that is a strong point in communities. They give you the pros and cons of that, and you essentially come out as a facilitator of this type of training. Now, because it is Anishinaabe focused or Native focused, doesn't mean that there aren't some things that might go multicultural across the board that can be utilized by other people. So I'll definitely see who is in your area, and I'll make sure that they contact you via email or phone or something like that, if you want to do that, because that would be a really good program and it's national. So just some other ideas of how they get parents active. Let's see what else. I had engagement in the community, so obstacles with that, incarceration rates, fatherhood is sacred. Oh, and then the definition of family. I think that addressed everything. Let me know if it didn't. Just type me back and I'll send you another message. I'm trying to keep these under 8 minutes because I know it's really difficult when you have kids. I get to do my videos when all my kids are at school. So I hear you on that. And then the other thing I was going to say is digital storytelling is awesome. And I think about this as a way for people to communicate. Just because if you want to talk about language as a barrier, English as a barrier, that's really important if they can hear and speak it back to you versus reading it. We have to also think about English comprehension and things like that. And if people are actually comfortable giving it back written. So that is like hitting everything that I love is doing it video wise. And we also have to think about how people are learning. A lot of media is done videos. TikTok is blowing up. YouTube already blown up. So I think that digital storytelling would be awesome. I think that would be a great project, especially to approach with your families. And I have no problem with you sharing videos. I truly believe that even though we're working on this communication project to make a well-rounded book, it's really the networks and the connections that we make as parents to better improve the lives of our children. So I always say you have to think for the next generation. In Anishinaabe, we talk about thinking for the next 7 generations. And so how can we best fulfill that relationship building and communication with our families to make strong families? So let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if there's anything else. And then I just want to say Chimagwech again. And Bama P. Christian, Bama P. Michelle. I hope you guys enjoy the video today.